We think this project captures imagination for its creative play on a theme. It's the intriguing combination of the child's pop-up toy combined with that Halloween friend, the jack-o'-lantern. Dana Engelman is the creator, and we are thrilled to have her here at the Studio 5 project table today. It's great to meet you.
Thanks, nice to meet you.
This project was, I'm going to say it, the hit at Swiss Days this year. It's what everyone was buzzing about. You kind of came forward with this new idea. You've been doing Swiss Days for many years now.
Yes. Quite a few years.
What do you think it was about this project that had people so excited?
Well, honestly, when it comes right down to it, somebody wants to go to an event and buy something that's handmade and creative that they're not going to be able to just buy at the local craft store.
It's
and
different.
So I tried my hardest to do that.
It's unique, and the concept is so fun. You've got a couple variations on us. Introduce us to your friends, if you will.
So the pumpkin obviously is Jack and the Lantern, and then the two spookies are Boo in a box.
Boo in a box.
Jack in the box and Boo in a box. And I also have a Joy in the box too. So you could do it for any season.
I mean, you had to have fun coming up with the face creations and the personalities of these individual creatures. They're super fun.
That is the most fun that I have being a creator, is coming up with just the random ideas and making them fun and making them something that I like.
Absolutely. I told Dana I would name every one of them. I'd give them like first name, last name, middle name, because they do have their own individual personalities. What supplies do we need to make this?
So, you know what, mostly all the stuff that I buy, I usually just can get at a local craft store. Some of the items, like for instance, I'm gonna, the spring is a little bit more tricky to find.
Where do you get the spring?
So I ordered those from just a company, but you can do a bed spring. I mean, that's a little bit extra work, but you could do a bed spring. You can even take some heavy wire and just wrap it like a coil.
Curl it.
Because it's not, it doesn't really work. You don't really push it down like it doesn't spring up by itself.
You just need it to have that wobble.
Yeah. So you could do any kind of a wire.
Okay, so we need the spring. We need what? Some textures, materials?
Yep. So you're going to need a box, obviously. The sturdier the box, the better. If it needs a little spray painting, if it's got a pattern, but spray paint works tremendously.
Okay.
It's spring, and then you're going to need, a stuffed head. You can either make it, or you can buy a little stuffed. The pumpkins are easier to find, obviously, but if you want to make a head, they're very easy to make, and just stuff it. It's a round ball. So.
It's one of these projects that has you looking at items like this in a whole new way, right?
Right.
You need a head.
Exactly.
What could be a head? What could be a head? How do you assemble?
So, I'm going to show you a little bit about the eyes.
Okay.
So the eyes are something that I feel is very unique. This is what you'll take your scrap paper, and then that makes you lead to keeping all of your scraps, which is terrible.
Do you keep all your scraps?
Well, I try not to keep all of them, but then when you do Mod Podging and then you do use all your scraps, then you end up
Did you hear the little giggle in her voice? I try not to keep all of them, but
I know,
85%,
it's hard. It's really hard. So you'll cut a little tiny circle, and then like this. Then what I've done is then I'll just make a little eyeball on it.
Okay.
Just whatever you'd like, just to make it kind of stand out. You can make a little star through it if you'd like. You'll take your Mod Podge. I just dip my finger in it, but you can take a brush if you want. Put a little bit of Mod Podge, put the eye back right over top of it, give it pressure, and rub out any bubbles, and then you just let it dry.
And there's your eyeball.
And it just becomes,
your glistening, sparkly, spooky,
and you can do
eyeball.
that. There's so many cute papers that you could do. Obviously, you don't want a super patterned paper, but you want a little detail, because that really does give you so much uniqueness.
I love how you've pulled in all of the textures, the different patterns, but it's not like a more is more. I mean, you've been pretty, it seems, strategic about how you play the patterns. When do you know when you've reached the point of like fun creativity and I walk away and stop now?
Well, that is hard, because you do get to a point where you're like, that is too much to look at, and then you just stop. Stopping is better, but then you can always add to it, and that actually works out good too.
And the arms, can you tell me how you did the little arms?
So the arms I just did with some little thin wrapping wire, and I just played around with it. You can just unwrap them, and you just bend, fold, bend. You wrap.
It's technical, I can tell.
It's not as technical as you think. And then I just strung it underneath the whole pumpkin head and glued it. So that was an easy one to do.
All right, so the jack-o'-lantern, the eyes go on the jack-o'-lantern. The jack-o'-lantern goes in the box. The box goes on a pedestal?
Yep, pedestal is just a little candlestick and then a little wooden plaque glued together and glued onto the bottom of the box. Liquid nails or like an E6000 works best for something like that. Let it set the time and get a good sturdy seal.
Love it. Well, you are just one of those creators who's out there pushing the envelope, showing us what's new and exciting to do in the world of creativity. Where can we find some of your latest projects?
So I'm going to be up at the Salt Lake Christmas Family Gift Show Expo at the Southtown Mall, November 17th through the 19th. And also that same weekend, I'll be at the Holiday Hive in Mountain Green. Both of those are you can check it out on my website, and they've got addresses and things like that.
And give us your website, Dana.
So it's www.danaengelmandesigns.com.
All right, we're handing you the Swiss Days crown for this year. So thanks so much for showing off your projects. Really cute stuff.